Hey, it's Rusty Sailors with LP3-SecurIT at FCO West 2015. I'm with Stephen Guerin. He's with Simtable, and he's been involved with quite a few PlugFest events, many of which take place at FC events. Love to work with Stephen. He does some really cool things with Simtable. So Stephen, tell us a little bit about what Simtable is and how it fits into the whole PlugFest environment.
So Simtable is an interactive projection system, taking things like everyday sand tables that the Marines will use for planning and situational awareness. We started off in the fire service, which uses sand tables like the Marines.
Quite a bit.
And so instead of just being sand and yarn and matchbox cars, we keep that, but then we augment it with projection and cameras, and the cameras watching the surface. So it can use the light of the projector and the cameras to recover the height of the sand and make it interactive. But teaming up with Esri, bringing in their maps and projecting that down this table. And so you can have interactive simulations. So it makes briefings easier and getting the communication across, information fusion instead of having to look at all kinds of different forms. Okay. How do you bring it together?
So how do you take the Simtable and what is it about the Simtable that gives you the dynamics that you need as opposed to like 3D printing, for example? What are the great benefits about the Simtable that kind of give you that operational insight and some dynamics along those lines?
Right. So we kind of jokingly call it digital printing, but with your fingers. So the advantage is low cost.
Okay.
So for $300, you can get a projector and a phone with a phone camera, and that's enough now to scan the surface by using interactive light with the cameras. So a 3D printing is good, and we project on 3D printed objects. But the advantage of sand is you can rapidly go to new terrains, scale in, scale out without having to print another model, which can take an hour or two. So, and I guess we're also selling the idea, there are tables that are automatically changing the pins,
Sure.
Very heavy, very expensive. Sometimes there's an advantage if you're going to go out in a certain situation to actually form the sand with your hands and getting a little bit of muscle memory that I'm in this canyon. Now when I'm in it, I can feel where I was in that terrain.
Yeah, so you can, in that respect, you can move from one scenario to another scenario to another. So if somebody's using this as a common operating picture for maybe tactical operations, they can move from one to the next, right?
And they can be, you can have one here and talking to another. So a lot of times you'll have the incident commander view. You have a background in fire. So he's got kind of this view, or maybe it's the lookout / the air guys. Or you have all the way down to an engine group that has to do structure protection and triage at the neighborhood level. And their action here is then showing up on the big picture.
Okay.
But you want them to be training on the kind of view they're going to have.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is there anything unique about the sand that you're using? I know it sounds like an odd question, but I mean, it looks like it's actually got some neat properties to it. Right? Is there anything special about the sand that you use?
Well, it's magic sand.
Magic sand is good, yeah, right.
So we started off with play sand, and then gradually went to a little bit cleaner sand that we would get from a sandblasting company. So you get the abrasive materials, and it was just cleaner. And then as the abrasive companies went to walnut shell, it had properties for us that was nice. One is when you're getting on Southwest with a bag of sand, 50 pounds is our limit. So we try to keep that full table is 50 pounds of sand, which would be 100 pounds if it was normal silica.
I see.
And sand, in fine dust form can be carcinogenic, and in a pinch you can eat the table.
All right, Stephen, is there anything else you want to tell us about Simtable here at this PlugFest, at the PlugFest? Any kind of walkaway that we should know about?
My experience with it has been now to like maybe 11 to 15 of these. I think I've missed a few of them. But I think where the history of it, I think we're starting to see, the challenge, go out onto the floor, find some technology that can help you solve the problem, and having quality developers that, coming from industry, academia, and say the Marines are here this time, put together a solution and having quality developers to say, these things don't fit together. You say you're interoperable, but the proof's in the pudding. Can we put together something in 3 days? Which is the modern need. We need to be able to plug this stuff together. And as a team too, we're starting to develop common protocols to get our maps talking together. And so for us, it's been valuable. We've gotten some good ideas of how to make much more pluggable systems.
Very good. Well, this has been Stephen Guerin with Simtable, and I'm Rusty Sailors with LP3-SecurIT. Thanks for joining us at FCO West 2015, and we'll talk to you next time.